Wytchwood is a cozy crafting game that follows a crotchety old witch through a fairy tale inspired landscape. This gentle adventure game involves solving puzzles by crafting potions and spells. While it might feel a little time consuming to some, the humour drives the story, and you'll stick around for the hilarious interactions with the witch and her world. Unfortunately, the PlayStation 5 edition of Wytchwood is marred by several bugs and trophy glitches, which do take away from the charm of the game. Wytchwood draws on classic fairy tales with a twist, much like Roald Dahl's Revolting Rhymes or Rocky and Bullwinkle's Fractured Fairy Tales. The three peaks here are rotten supervisors on a pig farm, the big bad wolf is a womanizer who eats his prey, and Puss in Boots is a nasty cat thief who turns villagers against one another. Enter Wytchwood's witch. As an old crone with a cauldron on her head, you're fed up with people and would happily spend the rest of your days not being bothered in your cottage. I could definitely relate. Unfortunately, you've made a deal with a pesky goat and must wander the world collecting the souls he's demanded in order to awaken a beautiful maiden. These quests lead you on a wild adventure, bringing you into contact with an eccentric cast of characters, including talking leeches, angry rams, and evil scarecrows. To solve the mystery, you'll need to complete quests within quests within quests. The items needed to subdue and placate these villains and sub-villains are often hilarious, such as snacrifices, goblin snot, and skeeter snoots. There's also a certain level of glee as the witch delivers her judgment on these nefarious animals. As a crafting game, the key gameplay involves sourcing materials to make ever more complex items. The rarer the item, the harder the ingredients to come by. You'll scratch your head to find a certain item, only to realize that you were just in the right location and have to run back. Despite the witch's amusingly grumpy run, this does get tiring after a while. Sometimes you'll just get frustrated when the game puts up another roadblock on your quest. I have to craft yet another spell? I thought I was done with this. Stick with it. I solved 4 quests in quick succession because I had collected a load of ingredients. And this is why I don't recommend rushing through Wytchwood. It's the type of game to be picked up when you have half an hour to spare over a few weeks rather than played in quick succession. I wish that I had more time to be able to meander through this game than play it so quickly as I did. I think I would have enjoyed the experience a lot more because I felt so fresh coming to it after a little break. And while you have to capture 12 animal souls to appease the goat here, I wonder if the game would have been better with a slightly shorter remit like 9 souls. As for the graphics, Wytchwood features lush visuals across a variety of landscapes. The illustrations by Jesse McGivney and Ariana Lawrence are absolutely gorgeous, with a consistent and bright storybook look throughout. These add to the sense of whimsy and humour as you capture fairies in your net or thwart dancing goblins to snare their ingredients. The art is one of the most appealing aspects of the game, so if you like illustrative games, Wytchwood should be on your list. Unfortunately, with every witch comes a curse. Wytchwood seems like the perfect game to play on Switch, yet there are several frustrating bugs on PlayStation 5 which affected my enjoyment of the game. Despite having finished the game, the trophies for the last 4 villains didn't trigger, nor did the Platinum trophy for finishing the game. And while I'm not always here for the trophies, it's extremely frustrating when you've completed something not to get the trophy. I also experienced controller issues where the witch would take on a life of her own and run off. Pressing buttons on the controller did not engage with the world. The only way I could bring the controller back into play was if I pressed the home button, then got back into the game and used the controller again. While you might think this was because of my hardware, I trialed this with 2 separate PlayStation controllers and checked that both of them had the latest firmware installed, and there were still issues. The good thing is that these issues can be fixed, and I think Wytchwood will be a much stronger game on PlayStation once those issues are addressed. Another issue I had was just within the game mechanics itself. The mechanic for switching between the tools could be improved. Currently, tools are chosen by thumbing across the bottom menu and pressing R2. This takes time, especially if you have to use one tool after another. However, the game, as I've said, is not designed to be played at speed. Part of the charm of cozy gaming is to relax, settle in, and chase after some frogs with a net. And this is probably good for me. I'm someone who really likes dynamic gameplay, and it's a challenge for me to sit down and go, hey, I'm gonna play a cozy game and I'm just gonna be chill about it. And I think that's a really good thing. It's also important to note that Wytchwood is not a game for kids. The game features dark humour, killing animals even though this is done in a cartoony way, it might be sinister for little children, some spooky graveyard scenes, and themes of soul sacrifices and black magic. But if you're looking for an adult cozy crafting game, Wytchwood is an appealing way to spend several hours if you can get past the buggy gameplay. Despite some frustrations with the repetitive process of gathering ingredients and crafting potions, I found myself drawn back to the world of this delightfully cranky witch. Sometimes we don't need games to be too complicated, we need something to soothe the soul. Wytchwood's laugh out loud moments might not be the balm for a jaded world, but they certainly are for a cranky old crone. I'm Kat Clay, a Melbourne video game reviewer and writer. If you like this video and want more game reviews, do hit that subscribe button, and thanks so much for watching.